Hey, it's another great word on the street. Have a fantastic guest today. Are you concerned about AI taking your voice or your job or your place in life? Well, there's good news. A 20-year veteran voice actor of animated hits and training and national campaigns. His book is actually number one on a Amazon hot release. I believe he is the creator of You Powers the Speaking Method, and his book, You Are the Message, revolutionary speaking tools for a better life, deeper loves, and irresistible leadership. Hey, sign me up. It's Joel Weldon. How you doing, man?
Brant, you got the title so well. I was like, wow, I'm impressed, man. Hey, thank
Hey,
you so much for having me, man. I
well,
think this is going to
I'm
be a
impressed with you. I just want to hear you say my name again. Hey, Brand.
Brant Fricker. Hey,
Brand.
there we go.
Hey, well, all right.
There you go, dude.
I don't know if you've ever done Megatron or not, but you've got an iconic voice there, Joel. Hey, what are some of the animated hits that you've been involved with?
For the most part, I haven't done a lot of animation. I
Huh?
ended up focusing on the commercial world, and
Ah,
it just grew and grew and grew. And now to the point where, I'm doing National Ford work. There's several of us that do it,
yeah.
but I'm one of the main voices for Ford across all their models and everything for the US.
Oh wow.
Behind Bryan Cranston, he's kind of the A-list guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm the guy that nobody knows my name. They don't know my name or know my face,
But
and
they know
that's
your
just
voice.
fine. Yeah, but
They
they know my voice, so yeah, definitely.
Oh
So
man, what
yeah,
I tell you what, Joe, you could I actually do some acting too from the looks of it there. Have you done some of that in front of the camera, Joel?
yeah. I've done a lot of stuff, a lot of hosting, and a lot of things
Ah,
on for different organizations where they need a host on camera. I've coached a lot of people
uh-huh,
on how to do interviews, how to do
uh-huh.
stuff on camera. I performed for years as a Christian artist. I toured the world.
Oh wow.
So a singer-songwriter, did that for a long time. And that, of course, leads into all sorts of other things. And here I am
Yeah.
now doing voice work and coaching and all kinds of fun stuff.
Wow. Now I was a Christian artist early 90s
No
as
way.
well. Yeah,
Wow.
now you I think you're a little younger than me, I'm not sure, but
Now we're right
what
in
are
there,
some of the
dude.
songs you sang?
We're right in there. So I wrote a lot of songs in the past
Huh?
that kind of just took off on their own. Lord
Uh,
Give Us America was one.
oh wow.
Billy Graham organization used it. Franklin Graham, different
Very
stuff
cool.
like that. I've done a lot of, different festivals where they'd have me come in. I might be the host. So I'd come in and keep things rolling, along with maybe leading some worship, opening songs, stuff
Oh
like that.
man.
That was a wonderful time of my life. And I still do a lot of different, things for nonprofits and ministries and things like that. But this
Wow.
is my main thing now. And it's become a passion of mine. And that's why I'm here. That's why we wrote the book.
Well, Joel, what a brilliant time to put this out, because even in our voice of work, our line of work, someone can type in a script and AI can read it, but it
Oh, yeah.
just doesn't have the soul. But you help people keep their voice and maintain their soul in the midst of this AI revolution, and
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone can speak to this subject, it's you. What prompted you to start writing this book?
That is a great question. So, Brant, this is the deal. COVID was like the black hole of history timeline.
Yeah.
We all know
Oh yeah.
COVID changed everything so much, right? It was
Yeah.
like a radical shock for everybody. And I call it like the black hole of time because there was
Mhm.
this pocket of time where everything went,
Right.
and we just paused for a while. Oh my word, what's going to happen?
Right.
So in the voice acting world, here in Los Angeles area and in Southern Cal, everything ground to a halt. I mean, people like me that would normally go into a studio in Santa Monica or Burbank, and you would get a call to go in and do your session.
Right.
All the studios shut down. And it was like, oh man, what do we do now? I happen to have, a full-on broadcast quality booth studio here in my home.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it was, wow, my workload actually increased. But the thing I saw was, I used to teach voice acting. I'd go to Burbank and I'd teach once a week. I'd go to Santa Monica Lime Studios, teach once a week. I'd go down to Tustin. Um, all that ground to a halt. That was all in person.
Right.
But
Right.
now all of a sudden everybody went, I'm getting hit up by friends, other people that were, on the list to be in the class. And they're like, hey, why don't you do it over Zoom? I went, Zoom, now whatever. And so Zoom actually worked. It worked so well
Yeah.
that, man, people were joining me not just from Southern California, where they wanted to learn voice
Right.
acting. They were
Right.
joining me from all over the place.
Oh,
And
wow.
so one of the online courses turned into level two, and then I booked a whole bunch more. But the thing that spurred the book, this is really weird. I'll never forget this call. My friend Bob Phillips, who I wrote the book with, and he and I have been friends for years, and he has done, a ton of books. He calls me up and he goes, listen, a couple of my family members, they took your class.
Ah,
And he goes, they're not the only ones. There are other people that are taking your classes, and it is opening up their lives in a way that
wow.
I've never seen before. And I had never thought about that
Uh-huh.
until he brought that up. And he goes, listen, I'm an author, you know that. And I said, of course, Bob. He goes, I want to help you write a book. And if you
Wow.
want to, we'll write it together. He's spoken all over the world for incredible stuff, Quantico, government agencies, really
Wow.
high pressure situations. He
Yeah.
knows communication. So the combination of me doing the art part and him doing some of that the difficult backbone stuff, it was a win-win. And
Yeah.
so he helped me write the book. It was a labor of love for a good 3.5 years, 4 years. But wow, where we're at right now in the culture
Yeah.
with AI taking over,
Right.
it's weird. And everybody goes, AI isn't it cool, Chat GPT. And yeah, I remember when, the internet came out when I was a kid, a long time ago, and you're like, yeah, it was really awesome. And you
Yeah.
could type in Google or whatever. That was pretty cool. This is exponentially different. Now you've got
Wow.
people on college campuses, and this is where it got interesting.
Well, you know
My
what?
son, my son's at Point
Uh,
Loma and he's graduating. The
oh,
first year,
congratulations. That's
it's
awesome.
cool. Yeah, he's almost done. Yeah, it's pretty cool. He goes, we started the first year and I'm on campus with him and we're seeing lines of people and there are students on the wall and they're just not talking. They're sitting there on their phones and you see them staring at their phones, right? And I'm going, they're not having conversations like I used to have.
Right.
And I'm thinking things are a lot different.
Oh,
And
man.
so when Bob hit me up about the book, I thought, all right, let's do it. It has really opened up a lot of people into understanding emotion, how you speak, how you relate to one another. A lot of that is being lost in this tech world,
Right.
and it's isolating people, and it's
Right.
not good.
No, it's not. It's not. But hey, like during COVID, I saw the first Zoom TV broadcast and I went, and that's when I really started interviewing a lot of celebrities. I mean, I started 25 years ago in radio, but man, during COVID, boy, I got busy too. But
Yep.
right now there's so much excitement, but there's also some nervousness. That's why you really speak to the need with your teaching, the future of communication in the AI era. You touch on that, bridging digital noise with
Yep.
genuine presence. You touch on why authentic speaking is the new superpower for leaders and creators, how to inspire trust and influence through voice, stage, camera, and live, protecting your job,
Hmm.
folks, when AI wants to take it, practical tools for staying irresistible. I love that. Sounding more confident, persuasive, and real in virtual settings. You know what? As exciting as AI is, I was talking to my son who's 19. He said, my generation's starting to hate it. We can tell when it's AI. I thought, whoa, that's kind of good news for those of us who,
Yeah,
come from yesteryear,
exactly.
of presenting in person and presenting in front of a camera
Yep.
and oh my gosh, but you really touch on these things and set people at ease. You equip them to navigate what's ahead.
Well, the thing about, personal interaction, we all take it for granted. We take it for granted that wow, I can just meet people and have a conversation, especially those of us that have lived some life, right? We've had
Right.
relationships, we've had experiences. The thing that really concerns me, and the statistics show it, is the younger people, the generation Gen X, Gen Alpha, all these that are coming up on the tech saturated world, they're relying on it so much that it's beginning to replace some of their relational ability. And it was weird. There was a study that came out, it was updated this last year,
Right.
the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Interesting. But the
Oh,
study increased thousands of people, and they put recorders on them through their day, and they analyzed how much they spoke. right, on a daily basis. And it was really fascinating. 20 years ago, typically somebody, especially women were a little bit more than men, 16,000 words a day. And I went,
Wow.
wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a lot of words, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And now, right, 20 years later, the average male who's, young adult in their 20s,
Right.
teens, is speaking maybe 11, maybe 10,000 words a day.
Oh, wow.
And so they're cutting back on the required amount of conversation, interaction to live. And with that, what's going to happen in the future? Well, you talk about jobs, a lot of jobs are going to disappear. A lot of them are going to, you see it now all over the place. The news stories, Amazon, UPS, they're all disappearing.
Right. Right.
And what's happening is those that can communicate and lead, they're the ones that are going to thrive. And the other ones, you're going to have a tough time. So in my opinion, when you look at the book and you go, oh my word, if I can learn a few voice techniques that when I speak, people are drawn in or they're magnetized to what I have to say. Wow, that would be like a superpower, And it
Wow.
really would be. So the future belongs to those that can really communicate. And if that's a need you have, go for it.
I went to youarethemessagebook.com just a second ago. I signed up on my email to join the list to get a free audio chapter immediately. I did that like in 10 seconds, folks. youarethemessagebook.com. And man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see this and to learn. You never stop learning. Always be teachable, folks.
Yep,
Always be teachable. And
always.
and Joel, again, this is going to be some welcome news to people who are nervous about that. But you even go beyond that. I mean, deeper loves and irresistible leadership. I love, hey, I've never seen the word irresistible with leadership before, and yet I have a feeling that you've got a deeper meaning to it. Tell us about how this can help us with deeper loves and irresistible leadership.
Okay. So a lot of people have a hard time having a difficult conversation.
Um,
For all of you out there, if you have a hard time with a difficult conversation, conflict, raise your hand, would you? Okay, I see
uh-huh,
the hands. All
uh-huh.
right. So we all have a tough time with that. If you can create empathy with your voice,
Mm.
which empathy is just a reflection of that you care, right? You want to be able to know that the people you're speaking with, they care about you. So if I'm speaking with you, man, if I care about you,
Wow.
it speaks volumes. Well, how do you do that? There's certain tones of your voice
Mhm.
where you bring it down, become a little more personal. There's a thing I teach, it's in the book, and it's C4. C1 is your you're speaking in a very, very soft tone. It's a
Uh-huh,
personal tone.
uh-huh.
Personal, nobody else needs to hear it. C2 is more conversational. We're having a cup of coffee, right? And my voice changes, it's fast. I'm not so worried about it. We're just telling stories. C3 is like a coach. And I'm going to tell you the facts. I want to give you the leadership that you need to thrive in your life, right? And then C4 is compelling. And that's where I'm all in. Jimmy, you're going to the road. Stop, right? Whatever it's going to take. If you can learn that and start to use that every day, all of a sudden your average conversation becomes way more lively, way more
Right,
interesting.
right, right.
It's really, really fun to watch.
Well, and you're not limiting your communication to text. I mean,
Nope.
there have been marriages that could have ended or probably did over
Oh,
text
oh, think about it.
when the
Yeah.
intended tone was not there or it was misunderstood, and then
Right.
you're spending more time. Yeah, I used to joke my wife and I, there was a time she got upset at me, and this was back where you had to do. You had to
Oh
push
yeah.
the number one three times to get the A or
Oh
B.
yeah.
And I'm thinking,
Exactly.
how is she chewing me out with punctuation in a paragraph? She
Oh,
had a little keyboard. You
oh
know?
yeah.
Now
Oh
we
yeah.
have a fantastic relationship, but it's so much better, when you can communicate. I actually tell people over communicate if you
Exactly.
can. Yeah.
Over communicating. The thing like the whole thing about emojis, right? We use emojis and I go, I'm sorry, but it's so primitive. I mean, if I'm
Yeah.
having a conversation with you, there's no need for emojis, right? And
Right.
just pick up the phone and make a phone call. I remember during COVID, somebody said, you know what? I've been challenged to just call somebody every day and have a conversation. I went, that's
Right.
a good idea, right? One of the other things I wanted to share this, Brent, is if you ever took a personality test? Have
Mhm.
you ever taken one, Brent?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. And they come
Yeah.
back and they go, "Oh yeah, you're an extrovert, or you're
Uh-huh.
a driver, or whatever it is, right?" They come back with all these things. Well, here's the thing, and we talk about this in the book, is a lot of people take that when they're 20 years old.
Oh yeah.
And somebody else comes back with a statement and go, "Oh, yeah, you're very much like that. You're an introvert and blah, 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 blah." And here's the sad part is they let that dictate the rest of their life. And
Uh,
I go, oh man, don't do that. All
yeah.
it is it should be just a snapshot of who you are, your strengths, but now grow into these other areas. And that's where the voice acting craft and me teaching it, it allowed people to expand and to be
Wow.
effusive in a character, or to be big and angry in a way that they'd never experienced before. And suddenly they're starting to like, oh, this is pretty cool. And it starts to expand their world. And that's a lot what's in the book, is to help you do that.
You know, it's never been truer. It's not how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
It's how you
It's
say
not
it.
what you know. I do this late night thing called Faith After Dark. You know, I purposely do it against all because I was trained by the best, Charles Tudor, who was a war correspondent, trained a lot of Fox guys and CNN
Yeah,
guys.
I know who he is. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
very
yeah, you
cool.
know Charles.
Oh,
Well,
dude,
I
guy's
was Brigitte's
legendary.
co-anchor and her national correspondent, Brigitte Gabrielle,
Wow.
and you know he's so funny, like showing. It's all about show and tell. You know, what a great mentor. You know Charles was and is, but it's really how you say it makes all the difference in the world. Most people don't really have that kind of coaching,
Yep.
and here you are, man. You're able to deliver that because people need that for their
Oh,
relationships and you know
big time.
especially in leadership.
Oh, and I see a lot of men, a lot of men struggle with being that sensitive. Like, I know you've been to therapy over Brand, I know that. So no, it's like, no,
Yeah,
you,
Joel actually first met me in prison, folks.
exactly,
He was doing a
exactly.
devotional and
We have
voice
quite a story
coaching.
to tell you.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
But you think about all the men out there, and a lot of men, they're never really, they model things growing up,
Yeah.
right? So they have certain role models, and you tend to reflect that
Oh
in the way you
man.
communicate, right?
You're
I
you're
mean,
hitting it. You're hitting around the head.
think about it. What
Yeah.
about an accent? All right. For example, if
Mhm.
you grew up in the deep South, well, you know what? It's going to be a very different way that you speak, because but it's different. If it's New York, it's a little different, right? In New
Get
York,
out
what
of
you
here. How
you
you
reflect what
doing?
you have. You know what I mean? So you kind of model those things. Well, then that's what you have. And a lot of people, a lot of young men when they're 16 to 22,
Yeah.
well, that's me. I'm just speaking, instead of challenging themselves to go, man, how can I be a better communicator? How can I be more sensitive
It,
to the people in my life, my wife, my family, my kids? It's huge.
it is, what I was saying about Faith After Dark. I purposely do it tired when I look bad and I'm tired.
Yeah.
And this guy, I was checking out of this place. I can't remember what city it was. And I only have it on Facebook and a couple on YouTube. He goes, "Oh yeah, I watch Faith After Dark." And oh, really? And this other guy, because my wife likes to doom scroll, and so do I. Or
Oh
before
yeah.
I go to
Yep.
bed, doom
Yep.
scrolling. I didn't know that was a thing. That's the
Yep.
word, folks. But he was like, "Yeah, man." And when you say, "How you doing? Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay." "Have you had a good day?" Yeah." "Did you do your best?" "Yeah, I'm doing my best." I thought, man, but it's all about the communication. But here's something else that you're speaking to. My communication skills that I learned changed my life as an at-risk kid, and it opened doors for me before I could even drive. Actually, learning some of those communication skills with some music industry type of people and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my role models growing up, Joel, were Indiana Jones. My dad had died. I was being raised by a single
Oh,
mom.
I'm sorry. Oh
Went to a
man, that's
ghetto
tough.
school. So
Yeah.
my role models in communication, relationships, Indiana Jones, Rambo, Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a bomb in
Yep.
there, right?
Totally. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
basically, these were the James Bond, not the best role model with relationships with
Yeah.
women, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I've been a
Yeah.
little bit of James Bond,
Yep.
but all that to say is, but the communication skills, it not only hones your skills, but it changes you. It enhances who you are. You don't have to be manipulative. You just can learn how to speak to different people, different
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah. And the thing,
Yeah.
the thing about this stuff, to me, it's like, don't you want to stretch? Don't you
Yeah.
want to fulfill some of those areas that you feel weak in? And
Wow.
you were talking earlier, it's like you don't ever want to stop learning. You don't want to
No,
stop learning.
no.
I don't want to stop learning
Always
till,
be
the
learning.
Lord takes me home, man. I'm going to keep learning every day and I want to keep growing. So I would just encourage people, man, you have no idea
Yeah.
who you can be until you challenge yourself and say, okay, I'm going to stretch in some ways that aren't so comfortable at
Right.
first, but they become more comfortable the more you do them. And it's like, wow, life opens up. And you can actually,
Wow.
say hi to a stranger in a grocery store line, and they start a conversation, and you go, "Oh man, well, so, but wow, isn't that interesting that we're doing life with people instead of, being all shut down, looking at
Right.
everybody like we're some weird movie. It's just so bizarre. So reach out, have a conversation,
Yeah.
talk to somebody.
I mean,
It's
talk about
huge.
speaking to the need. I mean, I couldn't believe 15 years ago, I'm doing some dangerous media work. I'm being chased by some bad people.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And it was
Dude,
associated.
yeah, I bet you have some stories, man.
Yeah.
Seriously. Wow.
Now I was having the time of my life. It was a blast. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I never knew what city I was going to go to right before. I never knew who my camera op would be. People I
Mhm.
was interviewing were in disguises. And then the terrorists that we're dealing with today, we were dealing with then too. They were just more
Wow,
hidden.
crazy.
But I couldn't believe back then that the number one fear in America was public speaking. And I believe that it's still the number one fear.
It
And
still
yet,
is.
your book, Amazon number one hot new release in public speaking. You're speaking to the number one fear that Americans have, and you're training them. You're making them better for it. And boy, I can tell you what though, some people have good communication skills, but they don't have the heart. Joel, you've obviously got the heart to build people and to reproduce yourself in people. Man, that's the best legacy, isn't it?
Well, don't you feel the same way though, Brant?
Yeah,
It's like you want to, man, you want to make the world better,
yeah.
right? There's a purpose for my life and I want to fulfill that. And so yeah, part of the challenge is finding what that purpose is, right? But I really believe that each one of us has a purpose in life that when you reach to fulfill it and say, God help me, I want to be able to be the best human I can be, the best person, the best dad, the best, if I can pursue that, you may never see it arrive. Man, I'm the best in the world. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. But you know what I mean? It's like you may never get there. But what I'm saying is you're going to keep growing and you're going to bless people, right? The one thing I talk about in the book, a lot of people have this, man, I'm really concerned about myself. What do people think of me? There's one little simple thing I say. Picture this, the word mission in all caps, mission, right?
Mhm.
And then there's a greater sign, okay? And then there's the word me in lowercase. Mission is greater than me. What you have to do with your life, if you put that first, that I want to care about people, I want to accomplish what matters, if that's more important than what people think about me, then you're going to win.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of, even if you stutter, even if you have a hard time
Right, right,
communicating,
right.
it doesn't, if they know that your mission is paramount, you may not be the best communicator, but you believe in your mission, then me is part of the equation. You're still part of the equation, okay? It doesn't disappear, but now it's in its rightful place. Mission is way more important than what other people say about me,
Oh
think
wow.
about me, everything else. And suddenly your mindset changes. And it just starts to enhance the way you connect with people in a way you've never seen before. And I love that part of it. That's why the book is so, I never thought I'd be an author, but I'm passionate about this stuff.
Oh, get used to it, dude. You're
Whatever, dude.
well,
No,
you're man, you're making my year because I love to learn and I love to learn from people who are more advanced than me and always be learning. That's the beauty of
always.
life, man. Always
Yeah.
be learning. I love seeing the light bulb go on. 25 years ago, I was an adjunct professor. 25 years ago,
Get
teach.
out of here.
Yeah,
Dude, what are
yeah,
you,
yeah.
you're like 28. How in the world can that be right?
Ah! I'm
Bro, that's
50. I'm
crazy.
56. I'm
Oh
56.
my word, dude. That's crazy.
Hey, thanks, brother. Hey, I'll pay you later. But back then, at Tulsa Community College, I was teaching Intro to Philosophy and World Religions,
Yeah,
and man, there's nothing like seeing the light bulb go on, and
exactly.
and seeing people
Oh,
experience some transformative truth. And man, you're doing that with me, Joel, because I'm really inspired. I'm really encouraged just by talking to you. And folks, I want you to be too. You are the messagebook.com. That's
Yep.
you got to go there and
Yep.
register for that. You are the messagebook.com. Now, I'm really curious about you power speaking method. I think you touched on that a little bit.
Yeah.
And did you develop that?
I did.
Wow.
I did.
Wow.
I mean, some of the things that I'm talking about, just little simple methodologies, mind shifting, attitude changes, drills that you can do. The when it comes to the voice acting world, and you've experienced a lot of this too, Brant. When you go there to a place where the director wants you to go, right,
Right.
or the program producer wants you to go to a certain spot and really hit this part. When you go there and you learn how to go there to those places, suddenly everything changes a lot. You experience, even in your own life, feelings that you've never felt before. Now, some people have a weird thing about feelings. Well, you don't want to dwell on the feelings. Well, here's the reality, right? Every truth that's conveyed, every truth,
Mm.
it has some sort of an emotional connection, an attitude
Wow.
connected to it. And the way people hear it and the way people feel it is going to be huge as to how they perform with that information. If they don't feel good about it or they don't believe in it to the point where it gives them fulfillment,
Right.
they're not going to really give it any credence in their life. So for me, I go, you know what? I just want people to understand that your potential is huge. And if you get to the point where you go every day, I want to grow a little bit. I want to learn a little bit. So the whole U Power methodology was that I can give you a drill. For example, there's a free download thing on there. And if you go there and do this little drill, you're going to do a certain part, tell a little story about yourself, and you're going to
Right.
record yourself with your phone. Okay. And then you're
Uh-huh.
going to watch it back. And then I'm going to say it kind of guides you through it. Were you all in? Were you all there when it said go big? Did you go big or did you just kind of wimp out?
You need that coaching too, folks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get the full meaning when it's the author doing the audiobook. Man, you get the full interpretation correct. When I'm giving somebody else's message, I'm always concerned about honoring their intent,
Yeah.
right? I want to honor the intent when I perform. Like if I'm doing a Ford commercial, right?
Yeah.
And the producer says, this is going to be geared towards the SUV crowd, a lot of family, a lot of moms and dads. So it's got to be a little bit lighter. It's got to be, hey, Ford Explorer right now, blah, blah, blah. So there's that kind of that tone that's accessible. It's the same kind of thing. You want to be able to say, hey, be able to give you all that I really mean with the sound of my voice. And it changes your whole world. It really does.
Oh, I love it. So cool. All right. Well, hey, I'm inspired. I know you are too, folks. So,
Yeah, yeah.
those who watch the live recording, hey, you know where to go. You are the messagebook.com. Those who are watching on broadcast, national cable and local affiliates and local TV towers, you go to youarethemessagebook.com, sign up. And I am a fan of Joel Weldon. I know that you will be too. Thanks, my man, for joining me today.
Oh man, Brant,